So, you know, on a very simple level, a human being is a system, right? And it's it's an organic system. It's an organic machine, really. We're just like a car, but we're organic instead of metal and things. And, our fuel is food, and that's our fuel. And, that's how we grow. We start small and we end up growing. All of that has to come from somewhere. It comes from your food. And that's how you have energy, from food. And if you don't believe me, just stop eating and see how that goes, and see how much energy you got. And so that's where our energy and growth and everything comes from. Now, so if that's the source of our energy, and then we are looking for energy to do work and things, then wouldn't it come from the source? So wouldn't it be better to have good sources than poor sources? Yes. It's just a no-brainer, really. I don't see how other people don't see that. But if you eat bad food, you will not perform very well. And if you eat bad food to an extreme, you will die. And if you eat really clean food, you will perform better, and your system, your body and your mind and everything will run much better. And same with exercise. Exercise is, our system needs to be used, otherwise it has entropy. And, if any system isn't used, it has entropy. If you don't use your brain, you will have Alzheimer's. And if you don't move any of your muscles, if you just laid down in bed for years, you wouldn't be able to walk. Your muscles would have failed. Like, they would have just gone away almost. And so, you have to use it or you lose it, basically. And, the brain and the body are actually extremely interconnected, because it runs through the whole nervous system. So if you're actually in, if you're in better shape, then your mind works better. And if you just like having good sleep, if you have good sleep, your brain works better. If you eat good food, your brain works better. And if you exercise and you keep yourself in good shape, your brain works better. And so if business requires the use of our brain, and if any advantage in brain function creates a business advantage, and the source of that is food and exercise and sleep, then we should probably make sure that we have good food, exercise, and sleep. Like, this is so elementary, man. This is so simple and common sense, but yet people don't understand why they just go drink a whole bunch of alcohol and then have a really bad sleep, and then not eat, then go to like McDonald's in the morning and then have like a Monster energy drink, and then they sit down to do some work and nothing special comes out. That's pretty obvious to me. If I did those things and then tried to do some work, nothing special would happen. So you've got to work on having clean inputs. Good inputs means good outputs. Garbage in means garbage out. And specifically my diet, like every person, first of all, has different, like they're different, especially with their diet, right? Because there's no one thing works for everyone sort of diet, right? Some people really, their bodies really like fats. Some people really need proteins. Some people, everyone's different, and you need to find out what you run best on. For me, there's one thing that nobody really runs good on, and that is sugar and alcohol and all that crap, right? But sugar is a huge one. If you take sugar out of your diet, you will be a lot calmer and a lot more logical and a lot smarter. Your cognitive function will be a lot sharper, because what happens in your brain is when you when you get good at something, you know, there's synapses that fire down a certain path. They go boom, 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 and that's doing something that you've learned and trained it to do. And because that synapse has fired down that path, like with repetition, that's practice. And every time it fires down, it makes that cable, like in your mind, stronger and wider. And you know, the synapses in your mind, they take the path of least resistance. So if it's going to fire somewhere and it comes to a fork and one's much more traveled than the other, then it's just going to automatically arc down that one, because that's where it's got the least resistance, right? That's what you're doing when you're training yourself. Like, that's what you're doing inside your brain, and that's how your brain works. That's why habit is just a very, very strong cable in your brain, and it's very hard to start making it arc down the other way, but just with repetition and time, it happens, and then the other cable starts to fade away, and it just bam, down that way. And so that's how you train yourself. But when you have sugar, and they've done these tests with like EEG machines and everything, when you have sugar in your system, the synapse it's chaotic. So even though you've trained it and you've got a way more, you know, well-traveled path that it's supposed to go, it will just fire the other damn way for no reason. But the only reason it does that is because there is sugar in the system, and it causes like chaos like that. And so that's why, like, all professional athletes and stuff, I don't know about all of them, but I know Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant and them, they were completely taken off sugar, and they stayed completely off it because it made them unreliable. They could be trained and they could have perfected something, but when it gets into the heat of the moment, they malfunction, right? That can happen because of sugar in your system. And that's why you want to get rid of it, because it does crazy stuff. And what you'll notice is that, first of all, if you try to go off it, you will have like a real like withdrawal. Like, you'll get a headache behind your eyes and things. And you know, it's basically a drug, sugar, but it's just a socially acceptable one, like alcohol. And like, once you start weaning off it, what you'll notice is you just get so much calmer. Like, you won't have waves of emotion that are in you for no reason. You are just calm, and your thoughts are more organized and clear, and everything is clear. It's like seeing better. And then when you have it in your system, you just feel like anxious or sad or angry or something. Just, you have these waves of emotions, and it's really strange. After being clear, you're like, why am I feeling anxious or scared? There is nothing for me to be scared of, but it's just, you're just feeling it because the sugar's in your system. It's really weird. And I would highly recommend people try going off it. It's definitely like good for you, and it makes you way better at business, and it makes your mind better, everything better. And what I mean by no sugar is, you can't fully have no sugar because it's present in fruits and vegetables and all sorts of things. So no sugar is defined as less than 20 milligrams per day. So if you have less than 20 milligrams per day, then that's considered like no sugar, right? And I recommend you try it. I don't have sugar. I don't have dairy. I don't have bread, gluten, wheat, those sorts of things. Those are the three I avoid. I don't have any alcohol either. And yeah, I just try to have fats, proteins, vegetables, fruits, things like that. And I definitely noticed a huge difference when I started eating better, and also sleeping better and exercise too. The combination of those three is like, you're just multiplying your performance by probably 5 to 10x.